everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 15. It's the season finale of the 3BeerPod. It's Chris and Tim. Timmer, what's going on, buddy?
Cloudy, is this it for real?
This is it.
Okay.
I think we'll squeeze a Christmas episode in, but then we're going to take a little time off.
I wasn't sure, buddy. You've been hanging me out there for a while now. I didn't know if you're going to throw in an extra. I think this is season finale.
The season finale, finally. We've been teasing it for a while, but yeah, we're going to wrap it up here today. Darryl Stevenson's going to be our guest. Heck of a football player. Played for the University of Windsor, CFL, won a Grey Cup, Hec Crighton. So we got some great stories to hear from Darryl coming up. And he's a brewer too. So we're going to hear all about that coming up. But we always start the episodes with what you drinking, bud. And you're already drinking away right there, Timmer. So what are you drinking here tonight? What 3 beers are you featuring tonight?
Hey, buddy. I figured last beer of the season, I cheated a little bit, buddy. I opened up this Sun Split, freshly delivered from Dominion City. Everybody knows that's my favorite beer, so I thought I would end the season with that one. And then, are you drinking this one too today, buddy?
Are we doing it? Yeah. I don't know how Daryl's going to feel about this, but we're drinking the Andy Fantus Snap Decision.
What a sweet can that is, eh?
Yeah. So Andy was on 2 weeks ago now, Forked River in London. Teamed up with Andy, and they've got this beer out that's right now. So yeah, I'm drinking that tonight. I might start with that.
I'm drinking that, and my third beer, buddy. This is out of the Advent calendar.
What number you got?
I've got number 7 because today's the 7th day of Advent.
Okay,
I don't even know what Advent is, but this is the 7th day of it. So you got it?
I got number 7 as well. So explain, Timmer, what we're doing here. So you and Tommy Page.
Yeah, we friend of the pod, Tommy. We put together an Advent calendar, shared it with some friends, wrapped it up all nicely, got a nice sticker on there. Tommy had a logistics on this, and so I know what beers we have, but I don't know what beer this is. Like, I know what we bought, but I don't know what order we're drinking. I don't know what this is in. So this is a surprise to me still, buddy. So
number 7. Oh, there we go.
Guess by the can, that would it be? All right.
I want to show you.
All right.
There you go. The O'Neill Stout from left field.
O'Neill Stout. I haven't had this one yet.
Very nice.
So
okay.
I'm excited to try that out. So that's Advent Day 7, whatever that means.
What you drinking, bud, tonight? All right. So we showed 2. My third is number 6 because I didn't get to number 6 yesterday.
All right. Backwards on the Advent calendar.
Yeah. So let me open that up and see what we got. Oh, very nice. Allura Brewing.
Yeah. That was a good one for Monday. I'm not going to lie, buddy.
Yeah, or a Tuesday.
It's good for a Tuesday too. So you're doubling up. Did you used to do that with your chocolates when you were a kid too?
Yeah.
Did you save them all up and?
Yep.
I just cheat ahead.
I told my sister that she didn't have enough in hers. I was like, "Oh, you must not have had the 6," and then I would eat. I would eat hers too.
It wasn't in that one. That's strange.
That's weird.
Yeah,
that's weird. So that's what you're drinking, bud. Let's pull in our guest here, Tim, and let's get right to this here tonight. This is Darryl Stevenson. Here we got some video. Let's play for Darryl. This is some highlights, and I don't want to throw him under the bus here, but this is the best quality of highlights we could find. Look at the video quality of this from his days back University of Windsor.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's
standard HD. That looks good. I'm not gonna lie, you're gonna pull Darryl in here right now. He looks like he can still pull these runs off.
Daryl Stevenson from from London, but played for the University of Windsor, the all-time leading rusher. Just taking guys with him, busting through the line.
That's beautiful.
Making a move. Darryl, watching these bring back memories when you see these?
Yeah, definitely. I wish I could jump back out there for sure.
Just a couple more here.
Oh, man.
That was a cool
breaking a couple tackles. Was it? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Mud Bowl.
Oh, there's one of these here. You had over 100 yards, I think, in the first quarter. Something stupid. These, dropping back. So we've had a couple of guests here on the podcast. Jesse Lumsden has been a past guest. We had Andy Fantus, and now we pull in. Oh, let's do the roundabout here. We're going to pull Darryl in. Daryl Stevenson of London, Ontario, the former Hec Crighton Trophy winner, a Grey Cup champion, and a brewer, which we're going to get to. Darryl, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Where's home now for you?
I live in Ingersoll now. I work in Hamilton and in London, but live in Ingersoll.
And what kind of work are you doing now? We were trying to figure that out.
So I work in Hamilton as an ergonomist at occupational health clinics.
Okay.
So doing ergonomic work, and then and some research, and then I work at Western University teaching a graduate course. So I did my PhD after football, and then kept teaching at the university, lecturing.
Wow.
Since then.
Pretty cool. I got to ask right off the top, how does a kid from London who's breaking records all over the London high school scene end up at the University of Windsor?
A lot of reasons. A lot of things factor into that. I really wanted to go to the States to start, and that's what I was trying to do. And I did get some scholarships, and in the end, it ended up, I ended up thinking that I wanted to stay in Ontario. They wanted to switch my position up in high school, and I was, a bigger kid, but I was only about 205 pounds, and I remember going on a recruiting trip to the States. And they said, you're a big guy. You're going to be about 240 pounds in a few years. Maybe you can play tight end, something like that. And I was like, no, I'll never do that. So I stayed, and about 3 years later, I remember at Windsor, I was 240 pounds, and my dad was like, they really knew what they were talking about down there. But
go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. And then they had a really good HK program that I wanted to get into in school. My sister lived in Windsor, so I lived with her in my first year, and they had a good football team. They had beat Western the year before twice, and I was at both of those games. And Western traditionally has a lot of recruits and a good team, and it looked a little bit harder, to start in the backfield there, whereas Windsor looked like they needed a running back, and that's what they were telling me. So
I remember you coming back to Western or coming back to London and playing against Western and just busting out big runs, and you get a huge round of applause. We talked about that with Vance, because I think he dropped your name in the interview as well, and the battles you guys would have for sure. I just cut you off there, Tim. Or what were you going to ask, buddy?
No, I'm good, buddy. Where were you heading with that one?
Well, I thought I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, dude.
No, your time at Windsor, like, man, you were like, 4 years, was it there?
5. And
years.
and I even came back during my CFL while I was doing my master's at Windsor. Really? So I did the full 5 years there. It was a great time. I loved Windsor. It's a fun city, and they really supported their football down there and the players, and had a blast.
That's your alma mater, Tim. I thought you were going to jump in with something there.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I didn't make the squad in my day. No, in my days, Cloudy, but man, did I support them by drinking in the background. Obviously, you were surrounded with a good cast of players during that time. Windsor isn't. It seems like it's an up and down football team. They're either at the top of the game, or it seems like they're getting stomped on. Your time there, obviously, things went pretty well. Can you talk a little bit about the cast that was around you and some of the memories that you have with those guys that were around you?
Yeah, I had a great time down there. I think you two know some people that I played with there, John Dent and Derek Quigley.
Yeah.
Buddies of mine. And we're in a beer club now. I'm sure that'll get brought up today. No, great group of guys. We always had really good athletes. And that showed that we had a lot of players that ended up playing in the CFL. And we always had a good number of athletes. And we had a couple great years, a couple tough years. But, overall, we did pretty well and made tons of friends. And I had a great O-line for a number of the years and real good players, good quarterbacks and great defense. And, John was an awesome quarterback. Derek Quigley was a speedy receiver. So it was a great group of players to play with.
That's good teammate. That's what a good teammate says, the offensive line, the quarterback, and the receivers. But could you have gone to any program and put up numbers similar? Because from everything I've read in the scouting reports, we were looking back and looking at some of your stats there. They were like a man amongst boys. Like it was hard to stop. We couldn't stop you no matter what. Could you have gone to any program, or maybe not any program, but a number of programs and put up similar numbers?
Yeah, I mean, I was a good, I think I was a good player. I think I could have played anywhere and did well. I worked hard and I knew that, physically my numbers were up there with the best players and I cared a lot about football. I would watch a lot of tape. I would watch a lot of running back tape and try to get as good as I can at all the skills. So I knew that I was pretty good overall. I was a bit shocked how well I did early on in my career at Windsor. So initially, and again, that's why I said about Western, I was a little bit worried. They had some good running backs there. So I think initially I was a little bit, underestimating myself, but I think looking back, I could have played probably everywhere and done really well.
Well, it's funny to hear you say that. You thought, oh, I don't know if I would start at Western with the numbers you're putting up. I'm sure they would have found a spot for you there for sure. I forget where I was going to go. Tim, did you have something there?
No, it's funny. I know that JD, John Dent, always spoke highly of playing with Daryl, and I think you made his life a lot easier in his passing game on being able to pull guys in. But when did you think that you we're gonna do things like break the records, all-time leading rusher in CIS? Like when did that? What year was that you're like, yeah, I think I got this, or was it something that you never really saw coming? How did those things line up? How did those years line up and those stats line up?
John Dent probably dropped back, handed the ball to him. He took off and he's like, I got this. This is gonna be easy.
Oddly enough, my first carry was against Queens, and I took it like 50 yards for a touchdown. And in that moment, I remember thinking like, oh, I can do this. Like this, I beat some guys there, and and during the camp, I could tell that I was doing really well. So I thought I was decent, but I didn't think that I was going to break all these records or anything. And I remember watching a lot of university football growing up, and just hoping I would make a team eventually. And to break all that, it was really it was fun. I have a funny story actually. John Dent, he didn't always protect me, and I didn't always protect him, but I wasn't the best blocker. But he, in our first game against Queens, I was lined up in the backfield, and they had called a draw play, and all Queens, the whole defense was stacked on the line, and I knew I was going to get killed. And John was the younger quarterback at that point in time too, so I don't think he wanted to mess with anything. And I was in the backfield just pleading with John. I was like, John, change the play, audible, stop. He was just locked in, not paying attention. And I got killed on that play, and he's like, "Sorry, man, I didn't want audible to play."
That's awesome.
We always joke about that now, but it was funny, just me pleading in the background for him to.
That's hilarious. You like you said, 240 pounds, running back. Who did you look at in the NFL and the CFL that you said, okay, that's how you want to emulate your game as? Like, is there somebody that you looked at and you're like, okay, that's what I'm playing like, or I want to play like?
Well, growing up, I was. I hit a big growth spurt when I was in about grade 11, and I started playing football when I was 6 years old, and I was, since I was about 8 years old, I was a running back, and I watched a lot of NFL guys. I loved Barry Sanders, and I was always a pretty small guy until about grade 11, so I was always a juker, and so I looked at that, but then after that, I started liking guys like Eric Dickerson. I'd look at his old highlights, and Eddie George from Tennessee. I love the running back for Tennessee. So right now I'm drawing a blank.
Henry?
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So those bigger guys I really like to watch now, and I think I emulated myself after them.
There's Johnny Dent weighing in right now. Better Daryl getting hit than me.
That's fair enough.
I like that. Fair enough. Was there ever times though, as we said, your scouting report is like a man against boys? Were you in the backfield? John's under center. You know the ball's coming to you, and you're looking at a linebacker, and you can tell they're like, "Oh shit, he's coming! Like he's gonna bust through this hole." Did you ever get that feeling and make eye contact with one of those guys and just know you got him?
And I used to wear a mirrored visor, and I could see them looking back at me, and I used to try to psych myself up, saying that I can see them being scared and stuff like that. But really, I was always kind of running scared for the most part. I'm getting the ball, and my job is to not get hit and beat up and try to get to an end zone. And if I get there in one piece, then I'm done. So I was kind of always running a bit scared. I do remember times in high school though, and in high school, by the time I was in my last few years, I was a big fast kid, and I remember looking at some defenses thinking, these guys. They're not tackling me today.
That's gotta be a good feeling back there.
Yeah.
So you win Hec Crighton, all-time leading rusher, get drafted by Winnipeg, head out to a Winnipeg camp. What's your expectations going into trying out for a CFL team after getting drafted? Did you think, I got this? What does it feel like to make that jump from playing at Windsor? So now you're going to Winnipeg. What does that feel like?
It was a pretty big jump, and it was interesting. But I had some coaches that came to coach at Windsor, and they had coached in the CFL, and some players come back, and they had kind of warned me what was going to happen. And I was always a running back going, I set the record for rushing. But I really didn't get the ball at all. Even in the first 2 camps I was in, I didn't even get a single carry. As soon as I got there, I was more of a tight end, fullback, had to learn a lot of special teams, had to block a lot. I was still got some role as a backup tailback after, the Americans kind of battled it out.
Right.
So it was a bit of a shock in that, but I had, a bit of a warning, and I really did what I could to try to, turn myself into a blocker, a tight end, a receiver, and a special teams player. I'd never tackled anybody in my whole life, and now here I am on kickoff trying to break kickoff wedges and tackle guys way faster than me. So,
Daryl, I want to get back to that, but I feel like we missed something right off the top. We never even asked what you were drinking tonight.
Oh,
you're into the beers. What are you drinking?
From John Dent. He's in
nice.
in our beer group, Gateway City
North Bay
Dark Rye Lager.
Yeah.
So we have a little beer group that sends each other 12 beers each a month. Just have a different partner each month.
Yeah.
From a different brewery in Ontario. Just kind of swap around each month and try to find neat ones. And
good deal. We want to get back to the beer, but I got to ask you. So you mentioned going to your first training camp, but you break these records. You're playing so well at University of Windsor, but you go in the 3rd round. What was it? 15th overall. Like, did you not feel like I should have done better than that? Like, I'm kicking ass here. Like, do they not value your skills? Like, it seems like these guys come out of the CIS and you come out of the American college football and you're starting running back, you're starting wide receiver, these skills positions. The CFL is so different in that respect, right? It just seems like the draft is it's a different beast altogether.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I kind of understood my situation a little bit. That year going into the draft, I had gotten hurt the last part of my season and got knocked out, and I couldn't run up until the CFL combine. So I had dropped a little bit because of that injury, I knew. And I remember even the Winnipeg guy who drafted me said in the paper that, if this was a year ago, he would have been going probably first round type thing. Yeah. So I felt a little bit that way, but for sure, like I said, I was a running back and I got there and immediately I was kind of put towards tight end special teams. I'm not sure they always see that the Canadian players are going to be studs right away type thing. And they look at guys that might be able to develop over time and become, and I think there's something a little bit to that. The Americans playing some really, really high intensity football in their college, right? So they're playing in front of 100,000 people. And some of them been doing this with great coaches their whole life. So they might come out a little more prepared. But then Canadians develop a little bit.
Was there a chance to go to the U.S., to the NFL route? Was there ever any openings there?
There was some. The Detroit Lions came over and met with my coach and watched some tape and checked me out a little bit. And that was the year they went 0-18 or whatever, and they all got fired after that. So they're getting close. I'm actually a Lions fan myself, but
I did read that. What'd you think of the game on Sunday? Holy shit! Finally, got one.
About that, but to be honest, I'm almost over it at this point in time. They won, and I was like, "Great, congratulations!"
It's painful, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. Lions fans, they get it for sure. So, Tim, you wanted to ask about the Winnipeg exit, didn't you?
No, I this is a story that Kyle Sladeholm told me, and I don't remember it at all, other than it was me, Johnny, and Slate sitting around the exit from. Were you let go at one point from Winnipeg?
Yeah, and then
the same time Slate's was.
Okay, so we were in training camp in my very first year together, and he got let go, and I got put on the practice roster, and then I ended up turning that down and going back and playing at Windsor for another year. And then,
okay.
But that same year I came back. So right when we lost our last game to McMaster, immediately when I got to the locker room, my agent had messaged me and said, Winnipeg wants you to come back and play this week. So I went and played, and I ended up playing tailback, running back from the second quarter on because the starter got hurt. So it was pretty wild. I barely knew the playbook or anything. I was asking the quarterback every play. I was like, so what do I do? Every single play. But it worked out. Yeah.
Well, okay. So then your story, Tim, is drunken haze. It doesn't make any sense then.
I think Slates has got a good story about him getting cut. I'm going to have some beers with Slates again and get that full
He was
story.
my roommate down in Windsor, Kyle Slate-Home.
Oh, yeah. I love Slates.
Yeah, same here.
Well, sorry, won't have a beer with him. We'll have a vodka cran. That's what I think is his drink of choice. Beer's not his thing.
Smirnoff Ice guy, I remember that.
Yeah. Big Smirnoff. The biggest dude ever drinking Smirnoff Ice. Yeah. Love it.
Slates will appear on an upcoming episode of the 3 Cran Pod. We'll have him on at some point. Oh, man. So you let go from Winnipeg, and then you end up in Hamilton. Was there other options there, or was Hamilton a target for you?
Hamilton was definitely a target for me. That's because it's the closest to home. That's, going into the draft. I loved Winnipeg, and I had a great time out there, and I'm happy that it went that way. But going into the draft, I actually kind of wanted Hamilton to draft me, and I was really hoping for that. And I was a bit disappointed when they didn't, just because it's so close, and it would have just been so convenient for me living in London and playing there.
So this weekend is the Grey Cup, and just the timing works out that it's Winnipeg versus Hamilton on Sunday. Have you been following along for this one?
Yep, definitely. I'm pretty excited for it. The games last week were awesome, and I think this one's going to be too.
Who do you got?
I think that Winnipeg is going to take it. I'm hoping that Hamilton wins. And a couple of years ago, I would have said Winnipeg. I do like Winnipeg. I liked them growing up when I'd watch the CFL. Yeah. But I think Hamilton needs this win. Having the Grey Cup at home. When I won my Grey Cup, it was at home in Saskatchewan, and it was pretty cool. And I think the city would just go wild. And they've been knocking at the door for years now. I think it's time for them to get a win.
So, well, I guess let's jump right to it. Saskatchewan. You go to Saskatchewan after you're leaving Hamilton, and you win a Grey Cup. And then you walk away. That's your career in the CFL. That's the way to go out. That's an adios. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, and I had it kind of in the back of my mind that I had 2 concussions and I had a shoulder injury, and I just felt kind of beat up. And I knew, I had the year before I had started at tight end in Hamilton and got that experience, and I had a lot of fun. And I knew, if we win, I might retire. And when we did win, I got a call from Western University saying they can get me in for the PhD. It just kind of all timed up at the right time, and I made the call. But I will say, like, having since then, it's every year I've regretted it. And even at this point in time, I'm like, what? Next year I'm going to train hard. I'm going to get back out there. It's just so fun to play, right? And so cool to be part of that.
I guess that's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Fantus had mentioned that he still plays flag football in like a city league up in Hamilton. Are you doing that at all?
I did play a little bit of flag football, but now I play rec league basketball, baseball, and I golf a lot. So I do those all year long.
Timmer, I think we see a recruit for our slow pitch team here.
Yeah, let's get Quigs on the horn here. We'll get Daryl
Slates has played with us. There we go.
Yeah, man, we'll bring the whole team in. We gotta get JD up. He can swing a bat too. You mentioned the concussion issues, and obviously in the last 10 years or so, concussions have definitely come to the forefront. What's your thoughts on kids playing football now? Obviously, it brought you many things, but if you have young kids thinking about playing football, or you want them to play football, what's your thoughts on where that's headed these days?
I think that they're doing a lot to. They're really changing up the tackling rules. That's going to take a long time, especially in the pros. People have been training their whole life to hit a certain way and to use their head. And even I was taught growing up to block people. We were taught to headbutt them first and then start blocking them, just to shock them. So there's a lot of that's now taken out. And I think people are a lot more aware of the symptoms and can be on it faster. So I would definitely feel comfortable putting my kid into football. I knew a lot about concussions having them when I was in the CFL, and I still kept putting myself back out there, and I think training them early, I would definitely be supportive of removing a lot of the tackling early on, especially when the differences in size of the kids and their heads are big but their necks are small at certain ages. So that type of thing I would be a little worried about, but overall, I definitely support them playing.
I want to get back to your Grey Cup win in Saskatchewan. That was one of the coldest games ever of a final. Well, Saskatchewan can be cold in the best of days, but how do you get geared up? You see these guys in the NFL and the CFL. It's like, all right, cold game, and they're just out there and arms bare, just gritting through it. Are you just faking that? Because man, I'm sitting here tonight in my shop and I'm freezing. My toes are freezing. I'm not built for that.
I got slippers on right now too, so I'm with you. Some of those guys with the bare arms have like a Vaseline layer that kind of helps out. And a lot of times, what a lot of us did under our football gloves, and the gloves that you wear are kind of special winter ones. And a lot of people put medical little gloves on underneath, and it just kind of traps the air in there. And then you always have hand warmers and the warmers around your waist. But it's really cold. Like the guys would take squirts of water and it would just be ice on their chest and all down their beard. Awesome. And everybody would just be huddling beside the heaters on the bench. If you were on the field, you were freezing. There's no getting away from it. And your helmet is really hard, and you just don't want to get hit at that time. Yeah.
Timmer, when the heater's not working in your garage, I'm coming in a full Vaseline layer.
I might get some Vaseline on it. I've been having this heater on for the last 3 hours, buddy, and it's only 60 degrees in here.
Yeah, Vaseline up. Have you got any good Grey Cup stories? I talked to Les Brown, I think it was one time, Tie Cat winner, and he just laughed. He goes, "I can't tell you the stories I had with the Grey Cup." Like, did you get personal time with it, or was it just a party? Like, you want it in Saskatchewan? Man, it's got to be a wild.
Yeah,
wild
it was crazy. They had like a parade the next day, but right after the game, we actually played Hamilton, who had just, so it was pretty kind of personal for me. And we were up by about 30 points at halftime. So when we left our locker room, they covered the whole locker room in sheets, just like plastic sheets, everyone's locker and everything. And then when we came back into the locker room, there was like laundry bins full of beer. There was it was a huge party. The guys were diving into the hot tub, full equipment with the cup, and it was a priest in there partying. It was great.
It's got to be a good party.
That's Saskatchewan.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yeah, just that whole scene.
That's hilarious. Okay, so let's get to the fun stuff. You're a brewer. You're brewing your own beer. I know you said you're in a beer club. Are you still brewing your own stuff?
Yeah. It kept escalating over the years, like many home brewers, and so I started off probably about 3 years ago, 2018. Started brewing and started small on my stove, doing small batches and bottling them, and that kept going, escalating, and then eventually I got to a point where now I'm kegging the beer and doing like pressurized fermentation. I do all different types of beers, and I really like the science part behind it and experimenting. And just trying different things. I'm one of those brewers who will split a batch and try one hop in one and one hop in another just to see the differances. And
what do you do with? Yeah, I'm just rolling up my sleeves here so you talk beer now. What do you do with all the beer that you make? Because that's what my issue is. Like, I make the beer and then I'm like, my favorite thing is just like the hanging out, making the beer, having a good time. I have a science background, and science is actually the least thing that I care about in making the beer. And then what do you do with all the beer you make? Do you give it to people, or you just?
Yeah, like before COVID, it was a lot easier. I've definitely had to slow down. When we could have parties, right. I would bring it to my baseball team after games. If we had my baseball team party here, I brewed 3 kegs for that of different beers. Nice. Just having buddies over, and I got a little like golf simulator in my garage, and so I have people over and play golf and have some that way. But that's a big issue. You like brewing more than you like drinking it, but if you make a 5-gallon batch, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's what I find too. You make the beer, and I'm like, okay, somebody come and drink this so I can make some more. Do you have the thoughts of a Darryl Stevenson brewery? Does that stuff sit in the back of your mind?
I think everyone goes through that thought that gets into brewing, because you're like, I'm doing, people like this. It's fun. Why can't I make some money? But I think if I ever did something, it would be like brewing for a wedding or something like that, or something small. But to have a brewery, I commend those people. It's 100%. Tough. Like, you can make good beer, but if you can't market it and things like that, then you're gonna die. So it's I'd be too worried about all that stuff to get into it. I like brewing and I like people trying it, but I don't know if I want to put my...
I think that's the best thing is when somebody tries it, like, this is pretty good. And they're like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
I should make a 5 heck batch of it. And they're like, oh, wait a second. Let's just calm down here and go to the day job. What is the day job these days, Darryl? What's the transition out of football
So I went
being a home brewer.
I did the PhD, and at that time I was working part-time as an ergonomist, just having my own business. And then I would train people on the side. So I worked at a gym. We had a gym with another called the Sports Science Lab, and we trained a lot of football players and athletes. So then when I finished my PhD, I got the job at the occupational health clinics in Hamilton, working as an ergonomist. And then I keep teaching kind of part-time on the side as well at Western.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This is a cool story. We've had a lot of athletes on this podcast, and what have we done, Timmer? Like 75, getting up to 80 now.
We're a couple.
And a lot of breweries too that start just like they're home brewers, right? Like we've had a lot of guys that say we just started at home, and then they met somebody who could maybe market it, and it's just kind of exploded from that. So you're the combination of both. You haven't got to the brewery yet, but that's coming. We'll have you on again when that happens. This is pretty wild. I think we're going to have to recruit you now for the softball team, because I think you've got everything going for you.
He makes the beer. You can play softball. I think he's in, buddy. We got a space for you. Come on down this summer and join the team, Daryl. It's been awesome chatting with you, buddy.
For sure,
man. You too. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Daryl. Have a good one, bud. Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Daryl Stevenson, former CIS star and brewer, and I never got to play this, Timmer. Here, this is
what you got, buddy?
Daryl. This is him right here. Watch him catching a ball here with the Hamilton Tiger Cats from Henry Burris in the backfield.
Probably not going to stop that train right there.
No, look at three guys are like, just get me the hell out of here. Boom.
Yeah.
Daryl Stevenson. That's pretty sweet.
Big shout out to Quigs
thanks, buddy,
for the hookup with Daryl. Made that happen instantly. So thanks, thanks to Quigs. Good stories there from Daryl.
That's pretty cool.
My talent has not allowed me to do the same things that he has, other than making beer.
You know what? He said something that I was like, we connected on an athletic level.
Okay.
He said he was running scared, and I'm like, I often run scared as well.
100%. My only time playing football in high school, I had a very large person chasing me, and I ran scared. Maybe the fastest 40 time I ever had was running scared.
Well, I do that when I hit first base. I just want to make sure I turn left. I'm scared I'm going to miss second or third. Just scared the whole time. The whole time. That's what gives me my speed right there. Daryl Stevenson, good dude.
Yeah, real good dude. 100% need to have him play Dover 2-pitch, though. He makes the beer, and it seems like he could probably play baseball. So we'll talk to Quigs about making this happen.
We had
pretty good at recruiting.
Oh, yeah. Have we had a better lineup of former CIS CFL names on the podcast?
Awesome. You can't beat what we've had here.
Jesse Lumsden.
Yeah.
He won a Hec Crighton, did he not? I'm pretty sure he did. Jesse. Then went on to play not Survivor. What was the
Survivor Man?
Was it Survivor Man? Yeah. So he won that. Then we had Andy Fantus, Hec Crighton winner, Grey Cup winner, and now brewing beer with Forked River. And now we've got Daryl Stevenson.
Brewing beer in his basement and sharing it with the softball team.
Other podcasts better be running scared from us.
Yeah, we should put, what we should do is put together the flag football team of people we know that have been on the pod. Look at that flag football team right there. We got Lumsden.
Hey, call your buddy Johnny Dent.
John Dent has the quarterback. Quigs. I'm not sure what is our role in this flag.
Just bring water.
We put together a team like this? It's basically all of those guys and then us.
Just us dangling on the outsides.
That seems like a good summer.
I could just see them getting the huddle. All right, boys. All right, this is what we're gonna do. McLeod, Regan, you go deep, backwards. Get out of the way.
Please get out of the way. Last time we went deep, you got in our way. John Dent throwing vert switches. Oh, buddy. We got something going on here. I'm excited.
We got something. Hey, Tim. So this is the last episode before our little holiday break. Are we going to commit to a Christmas show? We're going to do that?
I think we're going to partially commit to a Christmas show.
Yeah.
With the way things are getting locked down here in southwestern Ontario, people might need something to do for a Christmas show. So we might do it. We have some ideas for a Christmas show. We'll bounce those around, guys. Check the socials.
Might be forced to. The LCBO is suggesting people buy their booze early this holiday season due to a shortage
of all booze.
Well, no, it's the specific. They say the shortage includes some wines and champagne-like beverages from New Zealand, Australia, South America, as well as tequila and scotch.
Okay.
Your beers are going to be fine. Yeah, you're going to be all right.
Everything you just listed right there, I will not be going to buy ahead.
I'd say it's just a heads up, but you know what it's like. What are we 19? We're about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks away from Christmas. If you wait anything in this window here, it's banana lands going in there. So that's just a good life advice, is to get in there before that happens.
You know what I did see, Cloudy, was when the talk of the champagne shortage came out. Was I saw a dude put white wine in a soda stream.
Hello.
And just added the bubbles to it. Champagne. So for those of you lacking champagne, put yourself in class. This is tips from the 3Beer Podcast. You're welcome.
3Beer Pod. All right, here's another beer buzz story. OPP stopped a late night driver in Mississauga. He was inebriated, which we do not support.
Terrible.
Found alcohol cans lined up in the front window of his vehicle.
Oh, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah.
What the hell is
this guy doing? No, again, ridiculous. That's dumb. You're an idiot for doing that, right? He failed a roadside test, was charged with impaired driving and driving with a blood alcohol level over the legal limit, 90-day suspension. But the thing that attracted the police to him was his vehicle was full of beer cans right up to the window.
Yeah, they're right across the dash of the window. Yeah, I'm glad he pointed his being an idiot out, and they took care of him.
Over ridiculous. Here, me.
Yeah, look at me. Look how stupid I am.
Like this.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah. It says here, the motorist was what do they say here? Oh, they appeared to be transporting them for recycling and not drinking. And that's what he tried to give as his excuse.
Come on, man. Yeah. Get out of here.
Recycling, you dummy. Don't be such
ridiculous.
A dumbass. That's all I had for the beer buzz. If you had anything else there, bud.
We're gonna give an update on a past guest here, Claudia.
Yes, a little past guest update on the old 3Beer Pod from
so many
6,
of you
episode 3. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, season 6, episode 3. Obviously, many of you will remember that we had our only Guinness World Record holder that we know of. Maybe other people we have a Guinness World Record. We just didn't actually. Our fact checking crew didn't really get to that. We had the world's loudest burper.
Yeah.
Also known as
on the social still, if you want to go back and check it out. Yeah.
Also known as the Burper King.
Yep.
Pretty awesome dude. You might remember that he almost barfed on camera with us while demonstrating his loud burping abilities. At that time, there was some controversy that he said there was someone out of Australia that was chasing him and had claimed to be Australia's loudest burper. It's sad for me to say that Neville Sharp from Australia is now the world's loudest burper. Yeah. He has passed Paul Hun, who held it for over 10 years. He is now the loudest burper. His mighty burp registered 112.4 decibels. And it was recorded on July 29th, and it was just validated this past weekend. That's louder than the average electric drill.
Hello.
Or a trombone. I'm not sure where those two compare.
So you're telling me if I'm at the band practice, right, and the trombone dude is what's Neville? We'll just beat him.
Yeah.
Okay, here. I'm calling it now.
Uh-oh.
We will do a Christmas show, and I will attempt to break that record.
Whoa! Yep. We will have the first Guinness Book World Record. Attempt. Well, you know what we need then? We need a decibel meter.
Yes.
We're going to have to go to auction.
Yep. Going to auction
this weekend.
If you have a decibel meter, you need to reach out because it's going to, there you go. That's your hook for the Christmas show. I will attempt. Tim, you're welcome to join me.
I watched what he did to make it happen. I feel like I might vomit.
This could be the point in my life where I never have the chance to run for political office because they'll pull up.
This is the one.
This could be
the one. Wasn't all that other stuff that we've done.
Yeah,
it's definitely this one.
This could be it.
Yeah. So Neville Sharp, watch yourself, buddy.
Neville Sharp.
Chris McLeod is coming for you on the Christmas. I am gonna miss. I hope that Paul Hun keeps doing what he's doing Because if you don't follow him on the Facebook, the Burper King,
maybe he's available for Christmas show.
Oh, maybe he wants to reattempt to set the record on the 3BeerPod.
Or he could just give me tips on how to do it, and I'll try. Okay,
wow.
we're talking. We gotta hit.
We got some words.
We'll come with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't want to ruin. Yeah. We're giving the insights into how we put together this show.
I want to show you a picture here, Tim. This popped up. It came from a story. This story was just out, I think, yesterday. The world's 15 rarest beers for collectors, and it was in a story about gifts to get people who drink beer lovers, right? So this is from the brewery BrewDog, which has brewed the rarest beer. They only made 12 bottles of a Scottish beer that was released for 6 years, 2010 to 2016. And maybe that's because the end of history, which was what it was called, was 55% alcohol.
What?
Yeah, which is pretty wild. BrewDog opened up a brewery in Columbus, Ohio, and they wanted to get some attention. So they made a beer. So there's only 12 of them.
BrewDog is where they have the beer hotel, right?
That's right. We had talked about this
in Columbus, Ohio. What does the beer look like?
Well, they teamed up with a taxidermist. I'll just show it for you here. This is
what is he holding? What is
that is a squirrel.
That's a squirrel. Oh, that is a squirrel. Okay.
Yeah. It works with a taxidermist. So you have to imagine here that the beer is then enters through the beehole of a squirrel. I can see listeners leaving the conversation as we speak.
What is?
But
could you imagine showing up to a party as this is your koozie? Like, hey, you need an OV? Yeah, I got my koozie. You pull out your koozie, and it's taxidermy squirrel.
Yep. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's great.
How much? How much is that?
Well, it's unavailable now. That's
well, there's got to be one somewhere available. We got to look for one in auction.
Yeah. On an auction. Great. Great. That is funny. That is good stuff. Timmer, we're getting down to the holidays. Sinterklaas came this week. Sinterklaas is for Dutch children who comes at December 6th is when Sinterklaas comes. Sinterklaas.
Were you a good Dutch child?
Good Dutch child. Yeah, I was.
Did they show up?
I did. I was about to eat this. Son of a mother.
Uh-oh.
It's too close to the computer. It's melted.
Come on.
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Melted. This is Sinterklaas. This is a chocolate Sinterklaas.
Oh, wait a second. Buddy, I don't think that's a Sinterklaas. I'm not sure.
It is, buddy. It is.
So,
Sinterklaas.
I have to watch the replay on that. I'm not sure if that was a Sinterklaas you're eating there, buddy.
Yeah. Sinterklaas pairs well with
what do you got? The O'Neill Stout? Oh,
no. Little Neil Laura.
Is that a nice milk chocolate? Is that what you got going on there?
It was very good with the dinner. So Sinterklaas and Zwakte Piet, what I was told when I was young from Oma and Opa was that if I wasn't good, Zwakte Piet would put me in a sack and beat me with a stick.
How often did that happen to you?
Never. I was scared to death.
Oh, okay.
Zwakte Piet was going to come.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Christopher, Zwakte Piet's going to knock you dead with a stick.
Wow.
Yeah, that was threatening. So
that is amazing. The history of Christmas, of how really it's just threatening children to not be idiots.
Yeah,
makes sense.
I'm still afraid. Zwakte Piet shows up with a stick.
I'm glad you got that. Whatever you just ate there, because I'm not sure if that's where that came from. But
thanks, Zwakte Piet and Sinterklaas. I had something to play for you. That's what I want to do. I want to play this video for you. This happened. I don't have the notes here, but this happened, I believe, in Illinois.
Okay.
Where a teenager was trying to make a lane change on one of the highways and got pinned underneath a transport. Have you seen this?
Mm-mm.
So She's alive, which gratefully. Just watch her reaction here. Let's see if we can watch this. This is a young woman pinned underneath transport.
Think your morning commute was tough? Look at this. This is outside Chicago. Police say the driver of that Honda Accord, 19-year-old Alicia Gardner, was changing lanes when she got herself wedged underneath the speeding big rig. A nearby driver captured the video as the tractor-trailer driver kept dragging that car down this busy Chicago highway. At one point, you can see Gardner waving for help.
Watch her.
Come on!
Hello, toodaloo.
Police were able to stop
Just out for a ride.
Gardner. Nobody was injured.
What?
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7.
Thanks, Mark Brown. Thank you, Mark Brown.
What?
Did you see? Okay, I'm gonna play it a little again, but you guys like scared to death, obviously. But her just like opening. Toodaloo.
What?
Toodaloo.
Think your morning commute was tough? Look at this. This is outside Chicago. Police say the driver of that Honda Accord, 19-year-old Alicia Gardner, was changing lanes.
Watch her just calmly.
She got herself wedged underneath
the
speeding big
Excuse me.
A nearby driver captured the bizarre video.
That's ridiculous.
The trailer driver kept dragging that car
Out for a rip,
down this busy
butt.
Chicago highway.
Wait a
At
second.
one point, you can see Gardner waving for help through her driver's side window.
Come on.
Thankfully, police were able.
How? Wait a second here. Why is that driver that's recording not trying to stop the transport?
That's good video, dude. And we're living in a viral world, man.
He had a chance to save this young lady's life, or let's get a viral.
Tag me.
Also, what kind of lane change was that? That's an aggressive lane change.
Yeah, and the trucker to not notice.
He had places to be, man.
Yeah,
he had a haul. He had a haul to get somewhere.
A bunch of auction items getting to the Regan household.
Oh, buddy.
Hello.
Oh, buddy.
Hello.
That's
all I have, Timmer.
That's what I got. Dude, we should pump out our info for Jeff Leeson.
Let's do that. I do have that. So our buddy Jeff Leeson, 5-time, 4-time? How many times has he been on?
16 times he's been on.
16 times.
If you haven't seen him, jump back in all of our episodes.
And I'm going to give a little something up here. Jeff will return in January. We will have him back on.
Yes.
Get your tickets. This is great. This is like a stocking stuffer, or this could just be the gift. The whole family, well, not the whole family, but most of the family could go to.
Many of the family members could go there. We're going to be there, man, and this is going to be a fun time. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, or you haven't bought someone a Christmas gift, this is the one right here. Friday, January 28th. That's going to be good times. Are you just eating it?
Quit dicking around. Yeah. Yeah. You can call me on that one.
Cloudy, I want to thank you for season 6. It was an interesting season 6.
Yeah.
Because
the season that never ended.
It never ended. But we ended up in the end with having some awesome people on here. So big thanks to Darryl Stevenson. And again, shout out to Quigs for shooting that contact our way. What a great way to end the season.
Yeah, that was fun. That literally was a last minute guest because our original guest, who is literally a rock star, under the weather and couldn't make it. So
so we jumped on. Daryl jumped on. Awesome. And we're recruiting him to play softball.
Exactly. So we just found ourselves a first baseman.
Uh-oh. Are you retiring?
Yeah, well, apparently I don't think I have much choice in this one.
That's fair, buddy.
If Daryl comes up and says I'm playing first, I'm like,
all right. Good luck.
Good dude. Good on you.
Good stuff.
Have one. All right. So keep an eye on the socials. We'll announce our special Christmas show. We'll have some tickets to give away to go see Jeff Leeson. But yeah, have a Merry Christmas otherwise. Cheers, Santa Claus.